Did you know there was a battle that might have been mistaken for a bake-off? The Battle of the Ford at the Biscuits. Sounds delicious, doesn't it? Now, you might be wondering, is this a tale of war or a culinary fable? Well, it's a bit of both. This peculiarly named battle is one of the most intriguing events in history, a riveting blend of warfare and bakery. The story begins in a time when war cries and the clanging of swords were as common as birdsong. But in one corner of the world, the sound of battle was accompanied by the enticing aroma of biscuits. It's a tale that'll make you question everything you know about the battlefield, turning your perception of historical events upside down. So, prepare yourselves, dear viewers, for a historical journey that's as tasty as it sounds. At number 10, we have the battle's name. Now, it's not every day you hear of a battle named after a baked good, is it? Laughter aside, the Battle of the Ford at the Biscuits is a name steeped in history, and of course a good dollop of humour. Picture this, two armies ready to clash over a strategically important ford. The battlefield, a biscuit factory of all places, situated right next to the crossing. The factory was renowned far and wide for its deliciously fluffy biscuits, and it was this very peculiarity of location that led to the humorous naming of the battle. The name stuck, and the rest, as they say, is history. It's a light-hearted reminder that even amidst the grimness of war, there's room for a touch of whimsy. So the next time you're munching on a biscuit, remember it could have been a battlefield. Coming in at number 9, the unlikely heroes of the battle. Now, this is where our tale takes a rather tasty twist. Amidst the clashing of swords and the roar of cannons, it was the humble civilians who truly turned the tide. As the armies clashed on the banks of the ford, ordinary folks from the nearby town found themselves in the thick of it. And what did they do? They did what they knew best. They baked. Armed with nothing but their aprons and their ovens, they baked biscuits. Biscuits that boosted the morale of the weary soldiers, biscuits that became makeshift shields, and yes, biscuits that even served as a distraction for the enemy. These everyday heroes didn't just serve their community, they served their country, and in the most extraordinary way. So remember, not all heroes wear capes, some just bake really good biscuits. Number 8 on our list is the unique battle tactics. Now you might be thinking, how can a bunch of bakers and baguettes make a difference in a battle? Well, let me tell you, it's quite the tale. The bakers, in a stroke of genius, used their hot, fresh baguettes as a secret weapon. They launched these crusty missiles from their makeshift catapults, disorienting the enemy and creating a smokescreen of crumbs. And let's not forget the strategically placed pastry traps that turned the battlefield into a slippery mess. The bakers also used their intimate knowledge of the terrain to their advantage. They knew where to place their forces, where to hide, and how to use the river to their benefit. It was a masterclass in unconventional warfare. So, the next time you bite into a baguette, remember, these humble loaves once played a part in shaping history. Who knew that a well-placed baguette could change the course of history? Number 7 brings us the outcome of the battle. Now, what's the aftermath of a battle fought over biscuits, you might wonder? Well, aside from a river that smelled like an overworked bakery for weeks, it led to some rather unexpected consequences. The victorious side, having secured the precious ford, and the biscuits of course, gained considerable influence over the region. They traded these biscuits like gold, bolstering their economy and ensuring their dominance. But let's not forget the humorous side of it all. Imagine explaining to your fellow countrymen that your rise to power was due to a successful biscuit skirmish. It's a story that's been passed down through generations, often shared over a hearty meal, much to the delight and laughter of all present. So the next time you're in a food fight, remember, it could alter the course of history. At number 6, we have the infamous biscuit recipe. Now you may be wondering, what does a biscuit recipe have to do with a battle? Well, my dear friends, it's quite the tale. You see, amidst the chaos and clamour of the Battle of the Ford at the Biscuits, a peculiar event unfolded. An unnamed soldier, in the heat of the skirmish, took it upon himself to whip up a batch of biscuits. Not just any biscuits, mind you. These were biscuits so divine, so utterly delicious that they became the stuff of legends. The recipe was passed down through the generations, and today it's considered a culinary relic of sorts. Each ingredient, every step in the process echoes the resilience and spirit of those brave men. And the taste? Well, let's just say that it's a bite of history that you wouldn't want to miss. Who knew history could be so delicious? Number 5 spot takes us to the historical misconceptions about the battle. Ah yes, the myths and legends that have been kneaded into the dough of history. Let's start with the most popular one, shall we? The notion that the battle was fought over a biscuit recipe. Hilarious as it is, it's simply not true. It was actually a strategic location, not a culinary secret. That was the true prize. Another misconception is that the soldiers were armed with rolling pins. Now, as entertaining as it would be to imagine a battalion brandishing baking tools, that's simply a tall tale. They had real weapons, not flour-dusted instruments of pastry creation. Finally, some believe that the battle lasted for several days when it was actually a matter of hours, a long, intense and, admittedly, rather crumbly affair. Remember, history is written by the victors, and sometimes they have a sweet tooth. Coming in at number 4 is the unique memorial dedicated to the battle. Now, when we say memorial, you might envision a grand statue or an imposing monument. However, the Battle of the Ford at the Biscuits is commemorated in a slightly different, yet no less significant fashion. In the heart of the town, there stands a rather unusual statue. It's not of a valiant soldier or a legendary general. No, it's a statue of a giant biscuit. Yes, that's right, a biscuit. The locals decided that the best way to remember this quirky slice of their history was with a bit of humour. This biscuit statue, complete with crumbs, is a testament to the resilience and spirit of the townsfolk. It serves as a reminder of the battle, the heroes who fought, and the unusual circumstances that led to its name. And it certainly provides a talking point for visitors, a monument to remember or perhaps to snack on. At number 3, we delve into the cultural impact of the battle. The Battle of the Ford at the Biscuits didn't just shape the course of history, it sculpted the very fabric of local culture. It's a delightful paradox, really. A battle influencing cuisine, traditions, and folklore. But that's precisely what happened. The biscuit, once a humble staple, became a symbol of resilience and resourcefulness. It inspired a culinary revolution, with variations of the original recipe popping up in local eateries and households. It's not just about food, though. The tales of bravery and wit from the battle became woven into the region's folklore, passed down through generations. Even today, children enact the battle in school plays, learning about courage, strategy, and the power of the humble biscuit. The battle also influenced local art, with sculptures and murals depicting key moments. The Battle of the Ford at the Biscuits, a cultural revolution, one bite at a time. Number 2 spot takes us to the enduring legacy of the battle. It's fascinating how a skirmish fought over a ford and a biscuit recipe has reverberated through the ages. It's a testament to the fact that history isn't just made by grand strategies and mighty armies, but also by seemingly trivial matters like a batch of well-made biscuits. The Battle of the Ford at the Biscuits has left its mark in more ways than one. It's inspired countless tales of courage, resourcefulness, and the power of a good meal. It's a story that continues to be told and retold, bringing smiles to faces and piquing the curiosity of history lovers around the world. It's also a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected things can become symbols of resistance, unity, and victory. In this case, a humble biscuit became a symbol of defiance, a rallying point, and the hero of the day. And the moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of a well-baked biscuit. And finally, at number 1, we have the untold stories of the battle. Now, you might be wondering, how does a battle get its jollies? Well, let me enlighten you. There's a tale that during the heat of the battle, a soldier named Private Crumb lost his weapon. Unfazed, he picked up a rock-hard biscuit and hurled it at the enemy, knocking him out cold. Talk about a confectionery KO. Another amusing anecdote, a commander known for his sweet tooth supposedly carried a satchel full of biscuits instead of ammunition. When asked why, he cheekily replied, "Bullets may win a battle, but biscuits win the heart." And let's not forget the legend of the stealthy Sergeant Sugar, who, it's said, camouflaged himself in flour, becoming virtually invisible amidst the biscuit-laden battlefield. And there you have it, folks. The Battle of the Ford at the Biscuits, where history and bakery deliciously collide.